A 22-year-old college senior is running a company from his bedroom that's on track to do over $1 million this year, without investors and without connections in Silicon Valley. And he's not even the craziest example, because there was a solo founder who launched a side project, never raised a cent, and sold it 6 months later for $80 million in cash. Or the two 20-year-olds who dropped out of school after their app hit 20,000 new users a day. They're on track for 8 figures with no VC in sight. There's a new way companies are being built today. Gen Z, they figured it out first, because they never learned the old rules. Raising money costs a lot more than you realize. Most founders think raising money is free. You pitch some investors, you get a check, and you start building. But realistically, you spend 3 to 6 months just preparing the deck, the model, the intros, the meetings, all the follow-ups. That entire time, you're not building a product, you're not talking to customers, and you're not making money. And then if you close, you'd think the hard part's over, but it's not. After a seed round, the median founding team owns about 56% of their company. By Series A, that drops to 36, by Series B, 23. So by the time most funded startups hit real traction, the founders own less than a quarter of what they built. Gen Z looked at that math and asked a question that sounds almost too simple. What if I just skip it? The tools have changed so fast that money isn't even the bottleneck anymore. And there's real proof. A founder, for example, who already raised $130 million at his last company, and for his next project, chose to bootstrap on purpose. I'll get to him in a minute. But first, 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. He started Vodovo at 19 with less than $20 in his bank account. He had no investors and no technical background. But what he did have was a user-generated video he bought for $20 that went viral, 15 million views. That showed him there was a real gap between brands that need creator content and creators who can actually make that content. So he built a platform to connect them and bootstrapped it from his bedroom. He started by selling $20 to $30 videos himself and found his first 13 creators manually on Instagram. Elijah, he spent 2 years grinding it out while going to school full-time. There was no viral launch, there was no product hunt moment or press coverage early on. Just slow, manual, methodical work that compounded over time. 2 years later, Vodovo does over $83,000 a month in revenue and is on track for over $1 million this year. There's enterprise clients, there's big brand names, and over 15,000 creators on the platform, all organic. And he's still finishing his senior year because he promised his mom he would graduate. That's the Gen Z mindset. They're not romanticizing the grind or pretending sleep deprivation is a badge of honor. They're building real companies while living actual lives, without giving away a single share. The old playbook says you need to raise money to get started. Elijah proved you just need to find one person willing to pay you, and then find the next one. But building something great doesn't matter if nobody knows it exists. And this is where Gen Z has a real edge. If you wanted capital, you used to need warm intros. If you wanted customers, you needed a marketing budget. And if you wanted credibility, you needed a name on your resume. Gen Z doesn't have any of that, and they don't need it. Remember the founder I mentioned earlier? He raised $130 million at his last company and then chose to bootstrap. His name is 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. And what he did with Base 44 shows why social media replaced the pitch meeting. He built an AI platform where you describe an app in plain English and it builds the whole thing for you. The front end, the back end, database, authentication, everything. No co-founder, no team, no investors. Just maybe $10,000 to $20,000 of his own money, mostly on API costs. He didn't spend $1 on marketing. Instead, he posted his entire journey on LinkedIn and X. The revenue numbers, the user growth, technical decisions, even his compute costs, all out in the open. Most founders would never do this. They'd wait until everything was polished before showing it to anyone. 𝐬𝐻 did the opposite. He shared the messy parts, the server crashes, the things that weren't working yet, all in public, and that's exactly what made people pay attention. That content did everything for him because users were able to find the product. Acquirers could see the traction was real, and people trusted him because he wasn't hiding anything. He was showing the problems too. Within 3 weeks, Base 44 hit 10,000 users. A month in, $1.5 million in revenue came from subscriptions. He posted $189,000 in profit in May after paying all of his compute costs. The CEO of Wix saw what 𝐬𝐻 was building online and reached out directly, not through a banker, not through a process, just 3 meetings at the CEO's house. Wix acquired Base 44 for $80 million in cash 6 months after launch, still bootstrapped. The old pitch was a slide deck sent to 50 investors hoping 3 would respond. The new pitch is just showing your work until right people find you. 𝐬𝐻 is 31, but he was running the same playbook Gen Z figured out first. Skip the fundraise, build in public, let the work speak for itself. But none of this works if you can't see where your money's growing. And that's what takes down more bootstrap startups than bad products or bad markets. When you take VC money, you get structure, no doubt. Board updates force you to look at your numbers. Investors ask hard questions about burn and runway. When you bootstrap, nobody's asking those questions, so you have to be the one watching every dollar. Elijah runs a 2-person operation. Every dollar's tracked, every expense is categorized, and every decision about where to invest is made fast. Mauro was waking up every 2 to 3 hours to make sure Base 44 was still running. When your company goes from 0 to $1.5 million in a month, the cash moves really fast, and if you can't see where it's going, you can easily be blindsided. That's why Bootstrap founders use Ro. Banking, cards, and real-time spend visibility in one platform, so you're not doing the Sunday night spreadsheet session. The link's in the description, and it takes a few minutes to set up. But the bigger story here is hard to ignore. This isn't just a few smart founders getting lucky. The economics of starting a company changed, and the data proves it. Two 20-year-olds named Rudy Arora and Sarthak Dhawan met in 6th grade. By high school, they were already building apps together and making money from them. When they got to college, Sarthak had a simple problem. He couldn't take notes and listen to lectures at the same time. So they did what the normal college student would do. They built Turbo AI, an AI-powered note-taking tool that records your lectures and turns it into notes, flashcards, and quizzes automatically. They didn't pitch investors, they didn't run ads, they just put it in front of college students and it spread on its own. Campus to campus, group chat to group chat. Now they're getting 20,000 new users every day and they're on track for 8 figures of annual revenue. Both dropped out to run it full time. It was bootstrapped to massive scale before any traditional VC was in the picture. They were profitable almost from the start. An 18-year-old named 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐻𝐿 dropped out of high school in Kazakhstan to join Y Combinator with his AI coding startup. He applied 3 times before getting in. His YC partner said they picked him because he builds things quickly and doesn't stop. These aren't outliers anymore. One of the biggest VC firms in the world just published data showing that 25 is the new 30 for AI founders. The time to reach $1 billion valuation went from 7 years to under 5. One company in their portfolio went from $1 million to $100 million in revenue in 8 months. And Antler's co-founder Fridtjof Berg put it simply: what used to take millions of dollars can now be done with $100,000. When building costs almost nothing, when distribution is free, and when you make money in your first week, the original reason VC existed just doesn't hold up anymore. VC isn't dead, but for the first time, it's a choice, not a requirement. Gen Z is the first generation that sees it that way. Everything in this video, the ownership math, the earn first model, showing your work online, none of it works if your financial foundation isn't set up from the start. If you're building something right now and you want to stay on top of money from day one, check out Ro in the description. And if you want to understand why most AI startups still fail even after they raise millions, watch this video next. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.